I had been given a great opportunity of training as a mediator. And when I trained as a mediator, I was working at the time for Corrymeela. And we had a very big project that was around interfaces and working particularly at interfaces that were very violent at the time. So we had arranged for communication systems to be set up. And it meant really that I was working very, very long hours because you were virtually on call in case there was an incident, and you would go as a go-between across the communities or between communities and the police at the time. Unfortunately, from one constituency in particular, there was a leader who did not agree with what I did, and he put me under threat. And he did it, he was very open about it. He made a phone call to me in the office and told me. And me being the risky personality that I am, arrived on his doorstep to tell him that he wasn't putting me off and I wasn't stopping. And I also felt that although I was under threat, I wasn't going to tell Corrymeela, I wasn't going to tell my family. So for 4 years, I lived under the threat without voicing it to anyone. Towards the end of that 4 years, the same person unfortunately found himself in a position where he needed my help. And he made a phone call to me asking for my help, and it changed the relationship. It changed the relationship to the point where he just said, you know, I've lifted that threat, by the way. So the threat was lifted, and 3 months after the threat was lifted, I took what people would call a breakdown, a nervous breakdown. I call it a breakthrough. I call it a breakthrough, and I call it that deliberately because there were parts of the trauma that I had to face into. But more importantly, the learning that came out of it. Because I had thought I was this great, big, strong, brave person who helped everybody but never needed help. And I had to learn that I needed help. I just woke up and found I couldn't cope. I couldn't even think of what clothes to put on me. I had to be treated with drugs at the time for mental illness. It was a time when I started revisiting all the memories from my life. So times, casualties that I seen, the work on the ambulance, the work at the interfaces, loss of people that I loved through the Troubles. It just all opened up. A whole floodgate really was unleashed, and everything came out. But it meant that I was ill for about 3-4 months, and in a very dark place. My family were fantastic. My family brought me through it. I mean, within 4 or 5 months I was off the medication. I was back to work. To this day, please God, I haven't had a recurrence of it. I think one of the things that's really helped me was going back to my own roots. Where did I come from? Why did I come into this work? And what was it all about? And saying in the middle of that, remembering wisdom from my parents. And I would say to my dad, oh, it's beating my head off a brick wall, Daddy, and this is no good. And he used to say, Mary, love, a dripping tap will still fill a basin. And it was that, and remembering those words and keeping that to the forefront. You know, I'm only out there sowing a little seed. It's just a little drip in the middle of a big lake of water. But the drip is important. Not that I'm important, but the action is, and the message is, and that's what's going to make the difference.